The streets of St. Petersburg are well known for their racing heritage, but it's not what's on the streets that's drawing race fans this weekend. Today, a normally quiet Gainesville, Florida is alive with the sounds of nitro-burning top-fuel dragsters. These cars that are just behind me are getting ready to roar to life. But high up in the grandstands of Lone Depot Park isn't the only place you can see these Monster Jam trucks. You can also come down onto the turf for the Monster Jam pit party, where you can get up close to the obstacles, the trucks, and even the drivers. Most race weekends have a bit of practice, some qualifying, and then finally the main event. But here at the world center of racing, cars have been on track, going full throttle since Wednesday. But before any rubber meets the road this weekend, fans will gather here at Bernie's Speed Shop to meet over 40 drivers who will be competing in this weekend's NHRA Gator Nationals. South Beach was taken over by fighter jets this past weekend as the annual Hyundai Air and Sea Show came to town. Plenty of jets roared over spectators, including the Homestead Air Base's very own Mako Squadron. Also making the show were the elite Air Force demo team, the Thunderbirds, made up of 6 F-16 Fighting Falcons. They showed off flying in tight formation and also made sneak passes, surprising the crowd. The Air and Sea Show will return to South Beach next year.
Well, in the arena, I really tell people that this is going to be the up close and personal Monster Jam show. This is going to be the closest you're ever going to be to a monster truck doing its thing. We got a backflip ramp here. You're going to be within, 40, 50 feet of a monster truck doing a 20-foot backflip, which is insane because these trucks weigh almost 13,000 pounds.
In 2024 and in 2025, the Stanley Cup took a visit to the Amarant Bank Arena. But in 2026, we don't have a Stanley Cup. We have something better. Monster Jam. While Monster Jam is iconic for putting gigantic trucks in huge venues, they also stop at smaller arenas like in Sunrise. And each venue requires something different from drivers to get the best performance out of their machines.
There's a lot of technical driving that, we see in the arena here that you might not always see in the stadium. So this is going to be the up close and personal show. You are going to see so much action, things that you never thought we could do with these 13,000 pound trucks, man.
In the world of monster trucks, the name Gravedigger is one of the few to become bigger than the sport itself. Founded over 40 years ago by Dennis Anderson, his daughter Kristen is carrying on the family legacy.
I know that Florida is no stranger to my dad. They are no stranger to the Gravedigger legacy. This state bleeds black and green. We call Florida our second home. So we're so excited to come out here, and I'm going to get bad to the bone, just like Dennis Anderson would.
Monster Jam will return to Miami in 2027. Reporting for Kaplan News, I am Dylan Pezet.
Clear! I don't know, it was complete warfare. It was the most intense experience of my whole life, and I've done a lot of crazy things. That was awesome. It was the most epic battle I've ever experienced in my life. You don't know if you're going to survive the next wave to the next wave. You're just pushing forward, crossing your fingers, taking hits all over the place. You're in a wash machine. I don't even know what to say.
This is Port Canaveral. Located in Cocoa Beach, you can see rocket ships flying out of Cape Canaveral from here. But rocket ships are not the only thing flying this weekend, as over 80 offshore powerboats come here and thunder down the beach. For years, Thunder on Cocoa Beach has been a staple event in the offshore powerboating scene. And being in the ocean, Cocoa Beach always sees tough conditions.
It was just bang after bang, like just flying. It was pretty amazing. Coming out on the beach, we were just smoking it. So a lot of fun, and so now, and these things, I don't know how high they were, but you just, whoop, you're gone, and then hopefully you don't stop. But the distance between was good, so then boom, you're down, hit another one, and then you got to hit the last turn and head her south. So that was great.
Offshore racing will return to Florida with an event in Clearwater in September, and for the first time in decades, offshore powerboats will be in South Beach for the IHRA Offshore World Championships in October. Reporting for Kaplan News in Cocoa Beach, I'm Dylan Pezet.
An opportunity to be able to do that, and I've come down here a lot of years, and I think I've finished in about every position possible. So it'd be nice to close out 2026 with a victory here in the Daytona 500.
In most motorsports, after a qualifying session, the order is set, the fanfare is over, and the drivers can begin to look forward to race day. However, the Daytona 500 is not like most NASCAR events. Wednesday night sees a traditional qualifying, but that only sets the front row. The rest of the pack is decided through 2 races called the Daytona Duels.
Daytona 500 could be a total wreckfest. Because, if you think about, the duels, it's a heat race, and everyone's like, well, don't tear up your car, get what you can out of it, but don't crash. And we wrecked a lot of stuff. And that's everyone not racing for the Daytona 500.
Not only will it already be tricky to navigate a pack of cars at over 200 miles an hour, but the forecast for the Great American Race does not look promising, with wind speeds potentially in excess of 20 miles an hour.
Generally speaking, when you have the wind blowing at your door and kind of at the left front area off of turn 4, which it sounds like, I haven't looked at the wind direction, but if that ends up being the case, then definitely makes things more challenging for us. That's a really tricky spot on the track.
The Daytona 500 will be run Sunday at 2:30 p.m. Reporting in Daytona, I'm Dylan Pezet, Kaplan News.
It's rumbling feeling. As soon as you see your aircraft fly and you feel the afterburner and you feel everything that's going on, it's like an experience I can't describe. You feel it in your chest. Obviously you feel it in your ears, it's loud, but seeing it is just so bad.
Usually, there's not a ton going on at Lakeland International Airport, but this year, for America's 250th anniversary, Sun and Fun takes over all week, where you can see both modern fighter jets and historic warbirds, both in the air and on the ground, like the one right behind me.
It is a combat vet, and when I get in that cockpit, I put my feet on the rudder pedals, I think about all the other pilots prior to me flying this aircraft, which was in the war and in the military operations. We were the first civilian owners of this aircraft, which then we rebuilt it. So it's very humbling to know its history, and then I'm at the controls.
After the Korean War of the 1960s, America had moved on from piston engine-driven propeller planes and went full throttle on jet technology. This meant lots of aircraft with decorated pasts were left to rot. In the 1980s, Jim Tobel and his father Joe stumbled across this F4U Corsair left to rot in Homestead, Florida. And the rest, as they say, is history.
We decided on the one that was in Homestead, Florida. It was in a lime and avocado orchard in a cement block building. And so my dad ended up buying that one, and then we trucked it back to Pittsburgh and rebuilt it. Took 10 years to rebuild it. It was challenging, but it was, a hobby. It was a passion that my dad and I had.
Sun and Fun is the second largest air show in the United States and will return to Lakeland next April. I'm Dylan Pezet, Kaplan News.